Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timmy Kemza James for those who don't know me. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this really lovely butterfly ruched skirt. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, do ensure to go ahead and subscribe, and please share my video with your friends. Hit the like button if you find any of these helpful, and drop comments in the comment section. I'm going to be using this really beautiful floral print. So it's somehow like chiffon. It's a little bit thicker than chiffon, but it's chiffon though, the floral chiffon or the thicker chiffon, right? So this is how it is. I folded it in half, and the quantity I folded is my hip divided by 4, right, is 12 plus 9 inches, so that's 21 inches. So that's what you need, around 21. And then I left this one for hemming. You can reduce it or leave it that way, it's totally fine. So what I'm going to do now is to start marking out my skirt. So for the waist side here, I'm going to mark my waist measurement, divide by 4, which I have 10 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark like this. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch from this side, 1 inch downward, because I'm going to be hemming this side. You would get to find out why I marked that 1 inch that way, right? And I'm going to be adding a waistband. So from that 1 inch, I'm going to measure the distance from my waist to my hip, right? So which is 10 inches. So I'll mark 10 inches like so. Then on that 10-inch point, I'll mark my hip measurement plus half an inch for ease. I don't want the skirts to be tight, so I'll just go ahead and mark the half an inch like so. Then this same measurement that I have here is what I'm going to take all the way down. So I'll just measure the entire thing. That's 12.5. So I'll just go ahead and continue measuring 12.5 until I get to the hem of the skirt, right? So I'm using the entire length of the skirt, of the material. So this material is by 60, so I'm using the entire 60. Now what I'm going to do is to connect, using my hip curve, I'll connect the hip to the waist like so. Then I'll go ahead and connect like so. Then I'll go all the way down using a straight line. So you want to pin these lines down. I'll just go ahead and pin my points down, because I'm coming back to retrace them on the other side of my bodies. So this is the front side of my skirt. So I'll pin them down completely and I'll come back to show you. So now I've gone ahead to pin it down. So on the hip side, I'm going to mark 9 inches, which is the effect of the ruchness that I want. So I'll mark 9 inches or 10. That 1 inch is going to be for sewing allowance, right? So it's the same thing all the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that line straight all the way down. So I'm not cutting the main bodies of the skirt. I'm not leaving any allowances or anything like that. So I'll cut it like so. Now on this side, this upper side, this 1 inch that I marked here, I'm just going to cut that point open. Just that 1 inch point, I'll cut it like this and stop. Now I'll lay back another fabric so that I can cut the back side of the skirt. So I just laid my fabric on another folded side. So now ordinarily you're supposed to mark on the right side of the fabric because that's where you're going to be sewing. But I just marked on the wrong side on this side, which was an oversight. I'll trace it back on the right side of the fabric. So now this side that I left here is zipper allowance that is going to sit on my back my back body. So I'm just going to cut out this point like so. So I've gone ahead to trace it back on the right side of the fabric. You can see also on this other side, right? So let's go ahead to the joining table. So first off, I'll hem the hem side. I'll just go ahead and double hem it so that it gives way for me to continue what I'm doing, and by the time I sew my elastic point, it won't be a problem. So you first of all hem the lower part of the skirt. When I'm done, you can see, then I'm going to come over to the upper side of it. Now I'm going to lay, see that 1 inch here that we cut off, that's where our waistband is going to pass and give way for this side. So I'll grab one of the back pieces, right? Then here's the zipper side on the back piece. So the zipper side matches the center front, right? So I'll just match this side. This is the upper side of it, or the waist side of the skirt. So I'll just match here like this. Now we'll just match our panels together like so on this side. Since this side is the here like so, you make sure it's properly aligned. Then you're going to go ahead and stitch on this line, ensuring that you're holding your fabric down. You know this is chiffon and it moves a lot, so you make sure that this side aligns. So here you go. Now I'll do the other side as well. Now for the zipper side, I'm not going to be sewing it closed on the right side, so I'll flip everything to the wrong side and close the zipper side all the way to the hem. But I'm going to come over to open the zipper later and install a zipper. So you can go ahead and use an invisible zip, whatever zip that you have. So for that side, I will loosen my stitch because I'm coming back to loosen that point. So I'll loosen my stitch up to the length of the zipper that I want to install, right? So by the time I get to how long I want my zipper to be, I'll just stop and I'll tighten my stitch back and back stitch on that point. Then I continue sewing. Now turn the skirt back to the right side of the skirt, right? So by the time I do that, I'm going to hem this side. So where I put that notch here, I'll leave this side, but from this side, that's the butterfly side, I'll go ahead and hem the side. I'm not hemming them together, I'm doing that separately. Although you can go ahead and hem them together, but I'll do that separately. Now you can see I've gone ahead to hem this side separate, and I've hemmed this side separately. So what I will do now is to sew again. Now this is my seam line for the skirt. I'm going to make another seam line by the side where I will be passing my elastic to create the ruched effect. So this one is going to be maximum of 1/2 inch, because that's the elastic I'm using is the small one. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an opening or a loop for the skirt to for the elastic to pass through. So you can see. Now I'll do the same thing on the other side. Then I'll go ahead and hem this side separately as well. I'll hem here and I'll hem here. So here's the elastic I'm using. So it's not that big, it's just about, let me show you the measurement. So it's around 1 centimeter, right? And it's not up to 1/2 inch. So that's why I said you sew that maximum of 1/2 inch. So I'm using this safety pin. That's what I'm going to use to pass in the elastic. So I'll just secure the pin on the elastic like so. Now you measure the elastic to be the length of how long you want your skirt to be, and because it's elastic it might stretch down, you minus 4 inch for the length. So assuming you want your skirt to be 36 inches, you're going to cut your elastic to be 32. That's the length of the elastic will be 32.
So I discovered the 4 inches was still too small, so you would need to take out about 8 inches from the measurement of your length. If not, the weight of the fabric keeps dragging the elastic down. So I had to even reduce mine further.
So I'll just go ahead and pass this like so. If you have another means of passing elastic thread, it's still fine, or passing loops, it's still fine. You can go ahead and use those methods. When you bring out your elastic here to the waist side of the skirt, you now secure it with a seam. So you just stitch and back stitch. You back stitch severally on that point. Then you cut out the excess. The excess you see. So this is, you can go ahead and burn it down with your lighter or any source of fire so that it disappears. So you just adjust your stitches, and you can see how it has created like that ruched effect. So now, depending on how long you want it to be, you can just go ahead and adjust, and then you secure it on the down as well. Then I'll go ahead and hem these sides. The butterfly side, you hem it. I fix my zipper on this point, and I add my waistband. So you can see my zipper is installed, and then these raw edges, I'll go ahead and overlock that. Then I'll come back to add my waistband. So I cut out a waistband for it, which is just a straight line, and I interfaced it with a soft interfacing. this is paper stay. I mostly get questions on what do I use. You can use hair stay or paper stay, but the paper stay has to be the light one. Then I just folded it and pressed it down like a bias. So now I'm going to be adding the waistband to the skirt. So in any way that adding a waistband works better for you, you can go ahead and use the method. But for me, I've gone ahead to trim the zip down, so you can see. So I'm going to sew it now up to this point. Now what I will do is to tuck in around 1 inch. I'll still have to trim down this zip. You make sure the zip is open before you trim it down, right? So this is what I would do. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over like so, and I'll be stitching down from the midpoint like so. I'll just flip it over and stitch it down. Then I'll turn it over like this, so you can see that's neatly done. So I'll just tuck in that 1 inch, the 1 inch allowance that I left. Ensure that the sewing allowance of the zip lies down like so. I'll just turn that 1 inch that I cut off. That's what I'm using. Then I'll sandwich it just keep tucking in the 1 inch, close it, and I'll go ahead and sew. So you can see here is the butterfly part, and that part that you notch. That's why it's very important to make that notch. So you just lay it down like so, together inwards, then close it. Continue sewing 1 inch, close it. When I get to this extreme here, I will trim it, and just like I did from the beginning, that's what I will still do on this side.
So by the time I'm done, this is what my waistband looks like. So you can see all my raw edges are concealed, both on the inside and also on the right side as well. And that my zipper side, I'm just going to go ahead and overlock that later. So you can see it's nice, and the skirt turned out really beautiful, guys. So you can see my zipper. You try your zipper to close and open to ensure that it works fine. And I'll go ahead and add maybe a press button, a button, or a hook and eye, and that's it about the skirt. So this is what it turned out, and it was so lovely, guys. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, again, please subscribe to my channel. And look at this fabric, guys. Look at the material, is so beautiful. I love that sort of flaky snake skin effect it has there. So see you in my next video, guys, and ensure to share my video with your friends. Bye.